Hello everyone. uh, Today we're gonna do subnetting for class C. Okay, let's get started. Subnetting for class C, easy steps to follow in order to get it all right. Okay, I promise you about that. If you can follow these few steps, you can get it all right. Characteristics of a class C in IPv4 addresses. Class C first octet IPv4 addresses begins from 192 then upwards. Sorry about this, there it's a 10. For an example, here we're having 192.168.1.0. That's a class C IP address. Because of this 192, this clearly shows that this is a class C IP address. Okay, a class C has a shorthand that begins from 25232, that is /25 to /32, having first 3 octets full. Each octet consists of 8 bits. Then all of those bits are active in its first 3 octets. That's why we are having this. That's why we're having this 255. That means this octet is full. 255, this means this octet is full. 255, this means also this one is full. And this one, initially it is empty. It is the one we are dealing with. It is the one we're gonna deal with right now. Okay, let's keep on moving then, so that we can get rid of it. Initially you can have something like this: 192.168.1.0 Okay, the reason why you're having this /24 here, it's because, as I've said before, that each octet consists of 8 bits. Then all of these 8 bits are active. Then it's 8 plus 8 plus 8. That gives us 24. That's why we're having /24 initially, because we are right here before we start with our range. Okay. Okay, this is what we've just said right now. Okay, after identifying a class, use this table as a tool. This is the most powerful tool in order to get all of your addresses, your first usables, your last usables, your broadcasts, all of that, your increments, or everything. Okay, let me introduce you to this table. This table, okay, here we're having our bit values. These bit values, I'm gonna say they are descending, because we always come from the left to the right. Then we are having 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Actually, you can start from here. It's 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 6, 2 to the power 7. Having 8 bits indeed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, in order to get our networks, we start from the right, but now we don't start from 2 to the power 0, we start from 2 to the power 1. Then 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, until 2 to the power 8, until our very last bit here. Then for our hosts, we start from the right to the left. Here, if I said right, it's from the left to the right. Then here, from the right to the left, just the inverse of this one. Okay, then it's also 2 to the power 1 until 2 to the power 8. This table doesn't change. Don't stress too much, don't stress much. It's always like this. It won't change. If you can just do it, then everything is in your eyes, everything is in front of you. Okay, okay. In order to get your usable networks, you subtracted 2 in whatever you get here, as well as in hosts. In order to get your usable hosts, you subtract a 2 in whatever you get here. These are our slash marks. If we borrow 1 bit, then we are in slash 25. If we borrow 2, in slash 26. Initially we are having slash 24 if we haven't touched this octet, if we haven't borrowed any bit. If we borrow 1, remember this is a bit. If we borrow 1, then it means we are in slash 24. We are right here. Okay, let's keep moving and see how this table can help us. Okay, let's try some related problems to solve. Okay, having this one, we are given a IPv4 IP address. It's a class C1 because I can see that my first octet begins with 192. So this clearly means that this IP address is a class C1. Okay. What can I use here in order to get whatever I want, in order to use my tool? Okay, the only thing I can use from this one is it's a slash mark. We are given a slash mark here, and it will lead us into whatever we need. Okay, let's go and use our table in order to get our usable hosts available, subnets, slash mark, subnet mask, the increment. Okay, we're gonna see later how the increment works. Let's go back to our tool. Okay, here we go. We were given slash 28. Then this means we're gonna lie right here. Okay, everything right now is in front of me. Here is my increment. It's also called a magic number. Okay, then here is my slash marks. Sometimes it changes, but in this case it was the reference, so it was the one we used in order to get here, so it won't change. Okay, then here here. Okay, these are my networks. They are 16. The only thing that okay, each and everything lies on my left, like my magic number, my networks, my slash mark, everything is on my left, but only my host will be on my right. Okay, then in order to find your usable networks or your usable subnets, you subtract a 2 from this 16 pointed by this line. In order to find your usable hosts, they can also ask you how many usable addresses, so you subtract a 2 from, as I've said here, you subtract a 2 from the 16 pointed by my line on my right. It's the only thing on my right. Okay, then if they ask you how many bits we've borrowed, you just count 1, 2, 3, then 4 until you reach your line. And then in order to find our subnet mask, we add the values of our bits that we borrowed. Okay, the value of this bit is 128, and the value of this one is 64, the value of this one is 32, then the value of this one is 16. So we're gonna add these ones together, all of them. 128 plus 64, it's 192, plus 32, it's 224, plus 16, it's 240. Then in the place of that 0, we're gonna have this 240. Like we had a 224, then a dot, I mean a 255, a full one, 255, all bits were active, 255, all bits were active. Then here only 4 bits were active. Then we are having a 240 right here, 240. The reason why we are seeing 255, 255, 255, all these 255s, it's because when you add all these bit values, you get that 255. That means the rest of that octet, or all the bits on that octet, are active. Here we're only having these 4 active. Okay, let's keep on moving and see that how our answers look. Here we have a 14 because we said 16 subtract 2. Also a 14 in order to get available subnets because we said 16 subtract 2. Our slash mark didn't change in this case, haven't changed. Our subnet mask, here is our initial one, then here is our 240 we got from adding all the values of the bits borrowed. There is our increment, the magic number. Yeah, our line is the most powerful thing. Here's our line, the most powerful thing. On your right, your networks, your host, your shorten, your increment, then you add all of these ones on your left in order to get your subnet mask only on this octet. This is the last octet indeed. Okay, okay, here we are getting your first 4 subnets and their usable addresses. Okay, your first subnet will always be the subnet that you were given. Here is the subnet that we were given. Then, having this subnet, we have our increment. Our increment is on the 4th octet, so we're gonna increment on the 4th octet. So our increment was 16, as you can see here our increment was 16. Then to get the okay, we put it as it is for our first network. For our first one, we put it as it is. For the second network, we add our 16 on the fourth octet because we got that 16 on our fourth octet. That's why we're incrementing on the fourth octet. Okay, then from that one we are using that 16 to increment to get the third one. We say 16 plus 16, then it's 32. Then now we're having 32. Then we say 32 plus 16, we get 48. Okay, we did this one because it is gonna help us to get our broadcast, then our last usable. Okay, actually we wanted 4 subnets, then we had to do this one in order for it to help us figure out these ones. In order to get your first usable addresses, it's easy. If you got these ones right, then the only thing you're gonna do is just say plus 1. We had a 0 here, then here we go, we're having a 1. We had a 16 here, then here we go, it's a 17. We had a 32 here, here we go, it's a 33. We had a 48 here, 49. So it's easy to get your first usables if you get all your subnets right using your increment. Then in order to get a broadcast, you take the next network, then on the last octet, or on the last octet you subtract 1. You take the next network. In order to get my first subnets broadcast, I must use the next network. Then in my next network, I'm gonna subtract a 1 from the last octet. Here's my broadcast. I took the next network, and then I subtracted a 1 on the last octet. Then it becomes a 15. It was a 16. Took the next network, subtracted a 1. It was a 32. It becomes a 31. It was a 48. It becomes a 47. It was a 64. It becomes 63. Okay, it's also easy to get your last usable if you already got your broadcast. What do? You just subtract a 1 from your last octet. As you can see, it was a 15, then now it's a 14, 31, 30, 47, 46, 63, 62. Okay, sometimes you can lose it. In order to check that at least you are not that wrong or you're not that far, what do? You must check that these addresses will always have an odd number on their last octet. You must check this octet. It must be an odd number. And you can also check these ones. These addresses will have an even number on their last octet, and this doesn't change. It stays. If it's an even number on your first usables, know that something went wrong. Then you must go back and try again. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Shayan.